Governance. It's something that all nonprofits do, but it's not something they all do well. The American Society of Association Executives recently released a governance checklist for nonprofit boards to help educate philanthropic leaders when it comes to best practices. In today's session, we'll focus on key liability issues, governance procedures, communication principles, and other important protocols to ensure that your club is protected. Legal liabilities are among perhaps the most obvious and most important reason nonprofits want to observe strong governance practices. When you step into a leadership role, you're assuming some level of fiduciary responsibility as an official representative of your nonprofit. While there are certainly insurance products and laws in place that can protect us to some degree, it's important that we are also doing our part to protect our club and its members. This starts with routine communication with your leadership and volunteers about the knowledge they need to avoid potential legal liability. We recommend that all club leaders be aware of the club's governing documents, state and local laws that guide your event and fundraising activities, financial policies, insurance coverage, and more. It can be difficult to do this all on your own, so that is why it can be helpful to have a qualified legal counsel on retainer or available on an as-needed basis. When hiring legal counsel, ASAE suggests that you will want to find an expert who is well-versed on the nonprofit laws in your state. You need to be able to trust that they're experts on what you're not. If you have a lawyer in your club, great. If not, try to find room in your budget to consult with them as needed. Decide if your club will consult with them when potential liability is identified, or only when an issue or claim actually occurs. Know how your club wants to budget and conduct its business. It can be important to invite your legal counsel to key club or board meetings where important decisions are being made. This could include major bylaws changes or the addition of a new event that offers potential liability issues. In between these meetings, keep your legal representation informed by including them in your regular club communications, including board minutes, newsletters, and club meeting reports. Now let's think about staffing liability. What staff means can vary greatly from club to club. It may mean actual hired professionals who manage your club's business. It can also mean staff hired to run programs like hearing clinics or children's camps. It can even mean your volunteers in some instances, like maybe your board members. When thinking about staffing, you need to make sure that the people charged with running your club have some level of experience and knowledge. It may come in the form of external experience with other jobs and organizations, or it can come through training through organizations like Sertoma. You want to be able to trust that the people who are leading and caring for your club know what they're doing. This may even include specific knowledge about nonprofit legal liabilities. Finally, be aware of indemnification. You need to know how your staff and volunteers are protected against harm and loss. Indemnification should also be outlined in your club's governing documents. Speaking of governance documents, every Sertoma club is required to have them. They typically include the charter, articles of incorporation, bylaws, policies, and procedures. Sertoma offers a document builder to help standardize and customize this process for our clubs, which you can find in the Member Center at sertoma.org. A strong set of governing documents will clearly specify the rights and obligations of members, directors, officers, and staff. These documents should be reviewed periodically to make sure they are current and consistent with how the club actually functions. You'll also want to have legal counsel review them to ensure they are meeting current nonprofit laws for your area, and they must be approved by Sertoma before they become official. ASAE makes sure to point out that the governing documents should also clearly state the purpose of the nonprofit with, quote, no implication of illegality. Communications can be an area that represents some governance and legal issues for any individual or business. ASAE recommends that your club ask yourselves these questions to help mitigate your communication risks. First, who can speak on behalf of your organization? Who do you trust to represent the club publicly? 2, who can they speak to? This can include audiences like the media, government officials, legal representation, other club members, donors, business partners, volunteers, and the general public. 3, what can they say? What can't they say? Have a process in place to discuss when your club will comment officially on certain issues and when they may want to wait or stay silent altogether. Again, this is a place where your legal team may need to be consulted. 4, who can use your club logo? It's important to have basic guidelines about how you will allow your club's logo to be used, including on pieces like letterhead. Anything using your logo can be viewed, correctly or incorrectly, by the public as official communications from your club. Okay, let's talk insurance. This topic is a difficult one, and I'll say up front, we're probably not going to answer the specific questions you have. For that, you really need to consult with your insurance company. You'll also want to be aware of the Sertoma insurance program, which you can learn more about in the Sertoma Member Center at sertoma.org or by calling our program provider at the info on the screen. ASAE recommends knowing what insurance your club carries or has carried, including errors and omissions insurance, directors and omissions insurance, and nonprofit professional liability insurance. You'll also want to be aware of any event-specific insurance that your club has or needs. With any insurance you carry, have easy access to past and current policy and claim information, including any termination and claim dates. And finally, we come to meetings. This could be a topic in and of itself, but ASAE's guidance provides a brief hit list for things nonprofits like our club should keep in mind. Are your meetings held according to a notice and agenda distributed in advance? People need to know that the meetings are being held and that they're following the guidelines and agenda as stated. Does your club have a confidentiality clause in place? Some things are for officer level, board, or club discussion only, and you need to be able to trust that participants will keep all conversation confidential as such. ASAE reminds us that this is especially critical in instances in which subjects could have potentially adverse legal ramifications. Are you taking minutes, and are you doing it correctly? Who prepares them, and how are they reported back to the pertaining bodies? Do you record your meeting? If so, why? Are they saved or are they destroyed? Most times, experts will suggest not recording things like a board meeting. Consult your legal counsel if you have questions here. And finally, does the club allow for off-the-record or secret meetings? Are they strictly prohibited and avoided? If not, they probably should be. We hope that today's discussion has shed light on the critical role of governance best practices in ensuring the success and sustainability of nonprofit organizations. By prioritizing transparency, ethical decision-making, and board responsibility, nonprofits can enhance their impact and trust within their communities. As Sertomans, let us commit to implementing these principles to strengthen our organizations and better serve the causes we champion. As always, we provide additional resources to our clubs and members in our Member Center at sertoma.org. We also welcome you to join the conversation with us on Facebook using the link on the screen.